Very well, after our lucky maiden is fattened up by the forest animals, what's next? After 2 weeks, as she draws close to her most fertile, a man shall come, you say. He will be a follower of the twins, a man perhaps known to her, or a stranger drawn to her by the scent of the sacred musk. Now it's getting good, says Yaren. The two of them pray to the twins for their seed to join and pledge their child to the twins, you say. And then, prompts Mirabelle after a second of silence, and the man mounts her and gives her his worthy seed, you say. Well, I just get them drunk, says Yaren. Gods, more than drunk. Passed out is more like it. Mirabelle scowls at Yaren. You should be put in the stocks. Mirabelle gives you a long-suffering look. Please continue. After his sanctified seed takes root in the woman's womb, she shall go about her business as she sees fit. But as time draws near, she shall return to the wilderness alone to birth her blessed child. In the fucking wild? Are you fucking serious? What type of fucking fanatic character are we playing? Like, holy fucking shit, this guy is fucking nuts. Absolutely nuts. Like, what type of like, if some complication or something show up, what the fuck is going to happen then? Alone? Asked Mirabelle. I cannot imagine simply walking into the forest alone to birth a child. The twins blessed the birth. Although her labor will be painful, she will be safe, far safer than the filthy hands of the town midwife. Wait, go back to the mounting part. Is it from behind? That is a good question. I mean, what do they believe in, like, the sex position? Like, from behind, from the front? I didn't even think of that, actually. Wait. As Yaren, as he pantomimes the act. We actually did it. That's hilarious. I'm guessing that's how the twins would want it. Of course, how else? Seriously, that's what he replies. He says, I'm guessing that's how the twins would want it. Of course, you say. How else? That is so good. I mean, I feel like they made this chapter not for, like, playing. They just made this chapter because they were bored. That's why there's no new chapter coming out. This is not even a project. They just did it because they were fucking bored. Plenty of options, says Yaren with his gap-toothed grin, particularly when first getting to know each other. Anyhow, I'd love to hear the particulars. Very well, you say. As I have been told, usually the woman bends over. Do not indulge, Yaren, says Mirabelle, interrupting you. He asks such specific question for his own pleasure, not genuine inquiry. You shrug. I'm happy to answer any questions of our rituals. The union is, is among our most sacred of the acts, second only to birth. Wait, hold on. So, do they ever have sex again? Does, like, just man and woman just never have sex again if this thing goes down? Is that how it works? What happens to the children born in this way, says Mirabelle? Do they live in the wilderness? Sometimes, you say. Most of our greatest druids were conceived and born in this way. Even those children of the twains who are raised in what you call civilization usually end up returning to the wild. Those who do not, perhaps those enslaved within cities, are far more tormented by the call of the wilderness. What of the mother and the father, says Mirabelle as she leans over the wagon. My now, who's asking all the specific questions, Mirabelle? Are you thinking of signing up? As Yaren, leering up at her. Want to know your fate after you take the seed of the sand cow? His voice trails obviously, quickly looks away from you and clears his throat. Go ahead and finish your thought, you say, allowing the hint of threat into your voice. Well, none of my business, I suppose, he mutters. All this talk of bending over has reminded me. I best get back to the guarding the rear. Really? He gives Mirabelle one last glance before he turns and stalks back towards the end of the caravan. Sand Goblin, you say, nodding up at Mirabelle. That's what he was going to call me, wasn't it? Yet he didn't, says Mirabelle, shaking her head. Good thing, I wager. She fastens her intense green eyes on you, smiles sadly. Plenty of us northern weeds can't see past the skin of a man. Oh, because our character is darker, right? Imagine you Southernlanders don't trust as much either. Trust takes time, you say, particularly in times of strife. Her sad smile turns to mischief. So maybe don't kill Yaren just yet. He's not much to look at, but he is even worse to listen to. But when he has a sword in his hand, he's brave enough. Not yet, you say, trying to smile back at her in what you hope is a playful manner. And if you would like to learn more of our sacred rite of union, I would be happy to tell you. As I said, I've never participated, but have borne witness. You're a witness, she whispers as her face flushes crimson. You nod, smiling up at her wistfully. It was beautiful. She turns redder still, turns forward in her seat as though suddenly needing to pay careful attention to controlling the Washas. Should you not be off well, I don't want to keep you from the duty of protecting the caravan. Yes, that is my duty, you say. Best a scout ahead. You quicken your pace, beginning to leave her behind. You turn back. I enjoyed speaking with you. Yes, she says immediately. She smiles back, but her lower lip trembles slightly. She quickly turns her attention straight ahead. Was she being truthful, you wonder? Did she really enjoy speaking to you with a certain change of behavior? People are so strange. More reason to spend most of your time away from the caravan when you travel. I am not actually liking the story, so actually even if the next chapter comes out, don't tell me. I have no real interest in playing this after this. I'm just gonna play this one because I've already started it, might as well. I've plenty of games that I found, and I've gotten some, as I said, ideas from the comment section, so we're going to be taking a look at those. The caravan has been traveling for 3 days and has slipped into a tense but predictable routine. You rise with the sun, scout the perimeter of the camp. Sometimes you catch a guard or two asleep at their post, but the shock of walking up to a dagger at their throat is usually enough to break them of their lazy impulses. The rest of the caravan awakens. A sparse breakfast is prepared. Servants and guards eat hastily, cluttered in small knots of 2 or 3, hunkered in conversation. Often Grimbold will emerge from his wagon, grab food, and return to its depths. As you would expect, Rassel never joins the common meal, since his servants deliver food to him. They'll gun inside the wagons. On occasion, you slip out of sight to watch the double-length vehicle for clues about what was happening within, but to no avail. Mirabelle has been pleasant enough on the occasion that you have seen her, but she keeps her conversation short. There is something behind her eyes. Discomfort, you wonder. Perhaps you should not have proselyted to her of the twins. Yeah, she's into you, right? But she is not up for all this ritual bullshit. So yeah, that's what's happening, I'm guessing. You find it almost painful to be near Mirabelle. Her healthy skin, nicely proportioned hips and breasts are a testament of her fertility. Her smile too, although smile has nothing to do with fertility, hers make your heart speed up. You find it most comfortable just out of sight of the caravan, canvassing the perimeter. This is the best way to protect them anyway. There has been something unsettling lately, as though you are being watched. Morale decreases too, for no reason. Later that morning, you jog ahead of the wagons and spy a band of people walking along the road in the opposite direction. You retreat into the underbrush to remain unseen. After quickly realize that there are no threats. It's a motley band of compromised of haggard men, women, and children. All told, there are perhaps a dozen people, all trudging along the trail with no order or discipline. You realize that they must be refugees. You notice very few weapons, and they are mostly improvised farm implements and rusted swords. While the blessing of the twins, you can connect to the animals, see through their eyes, and experience their other senses. You decide to expend some favor to commune with a squirrel who had recently weaned her young, is now restless. She travels with the caravan. She has kept well fed thanks to the captain, who keeps throwing her nuts from his rations. Looking through the squirrel's eyes, you confirm that the refuge appears harmless as the squirrel bounds through the leaves. You are confident that... fuck. I don't want to read this. This is boring. Yeah, honestly, this is fucking... This is kind of fucking boring, but I kind of don't want to leave a random chapter halfway fucking empty like this, but... Yeah, this is really boring. I'm getting bored the fuck out of my mind. Like, that little conversation was funny, but there's nothing really. The Civil War, yes. Master, Vernal Cresta the cow, they cannot be allowed to report our passing. They've already seen the wagon, but they're no threat to us, so Vern has like killed them or something, I don't know. They could report our numbers, the direction of travel. You can feel the flush of your temper rise. Up to whom? There's still no face visible. There are many who would see this mission fail, Ranger. You believe some of these people, you say, pointing at the crowd of refugees, are our enemies. No, they're likely what they appear to be, simple refugees, but news about this caravan must not spread throughout the kingdom. And then you realize just what Rassel means. His voice is a chilling whisper as he continues, they must die. Okay, so this is, I'm just gonna skip through any random fucking bullshit dialogue. I have no interest in reading too much. You can go read it yourself if you like it. It's not that good. Some parts are good, but most of it, and also the main character is fucking annoying as shit, so whatever. They must die. Guards from the caravan here gathered behind the captain, listening to your exchange. Rassel turns to face the group and points at the refugee. Go now, no survivors. The weapons draw their weapons and turn as one, woodenly marching towards the people on the road. It is disappointed to see Mirabelle marching as well. You understand, though, as you feel the compulsion Rassel's words flowing through the circle around your neck. You wonder if you can summon the will to resist. Now, here's the thing. If I resist his command, that's not gonna do much. If I want them to run, if any of them escape, then my character is going to take a fucking beating, and Rassel is gonna be fucking mad. So I think I'm just gonna attack the refugees and make it quick. Life decreases 3, morale decreases 3. I'm in -4 morale. Usually in some games, in the first game you would actually die from this. The caravan guards have spread out into a line and are approaching the crowd. The men at the front of the refugee group are watching the guards warily. It's clear that they have no real training with the scavenged weapons they're holding. You don't want to attack, but you're compelled. Your collar warms slightly as you reconsider your decision. If they must die, best they die quickly, you think. You charge at full speed, much faster, well ahead of the guards and sheathing your swords. Refugees shout a warning before you're among them, butchering men and women alike. To your surprise, the refugees don't flee, rather they counter. The men close in, swinging their weapons. You had hoped your attack would break the ranks before the guards arrive, but the refugees continue to surprise. They encircle you and striking you from all sides. Your heart is not in this fight. You find your reactions are uncharacteristically sluggish. Something strikes you in the back of the head. You go unconscious. Life decreases 2. As consciousness returns, you're aware that you're laying on something soft. The scent of a candle is burning nearby, and your body seems to be gently rocking as though about a ship at a sea. You open your eyes, but the image of where you are remains blurry and distinct. Is it Mirabelle or something? A soothing voice sounds in your ear. Don't try to get up, remain still. Till your vision clears and you see that you're lying on a cot inside the armored wagon at the center of the caravan. The elven woman sits next to you on a small stool. As you watch, she dabs a cloth in cool water and applies it. I'm not even going to do best choices for this chapter because I don't really care enough. I'm just going to finish this real quick. Applies it to your brow. You have been out for a while, she says quietly. It may take some time for you to recover. You force yourself into a sitting position and glance around at the interior of the wagon. The caravan is moving again. The several objects hang from the walls and sway from the motion of the huge vehicle. You should rest, the girl says, reaching for your forehead with the rag. But you push her hand away. How long was I unconscious? Several hours. Master Varasal instructed his guards to leave you here. Your hand strays up to your head as you remember being knocked unconscious. There is no pain now, only the memory of it. You're a healer, you say. She nods. I have some ability to heal. And the refugees, you ask, fearing her answer. The girl merely shakes her head. The wizard has a great deal to answer for, you mutter. Look of pure hatred passes over her face. He is no wizard, she says. And he has more to answer for than you know. The interior of the wagon is sparse. The only indication that someone lives here are a few handmade pieces of art hanging from the walls. What is your name, you ask. Shesana, she replies as she takes the cloth and bowl of water away. As she turns, you notice that the reddish scars on her arms. My name is Arash Azar, you begin. You're a ranger, she interrupts. Yes, I know who you are. Master Rassel spoke about your arrival, and I've been watching you. I steal glimpses out the window of the wagon whenever I can. You have been held for a long time, you ask quietly. Shesana, almost 5 years. How were you captured, you ask? Raiders attacked on the day of our spring festival. Her expression is distant as she goes on. It was a double celebration for me. I was to be welcomed to adulthood, but the village elders had also recognized that I had the talent. You mean a talent for magic? Shesana nods. The raiders attacked during our holy ceremony. Our guardians were caught by surprise. I was dragged away. Raiders presented me to Rassel a short time later, and he keeps you in this rolling prison. She nods. Yes. Why? You ask, standing to examine the interior of the reinforced shutters over the windows. Rassel has needs. Ooh. She whispers. You glance at her and she continues. I can touch sources of magic, but I'm untrained in its use, and so he. Wait, hold on. Wait, I'm confused. I thought we were talking about sex. What is happening here? So he keeps around like a sex slave or something? But then we are saying I can touch sources of magic, but I'm untrained in its use. What the fuck? What does that mean? And so he shoves magic into you? I don't fucking. That is such a confusing fucking paragraph. What the hell? Shesana's body is shivering as she tries to speak. You place one hand on her shoulder and try to comfort. You don't have to tell me this. But she pulls away and forces herself to continue. You know you need to hear the whole truth. There is a technique, you say, for a being to squeeze the soul of another for power. Oh, soul crushing. Oh, he soul crushes. Okay, I thought he was talking about sex. No, it's soul crushing. You stand and stare at her in shock, and Rassel uses this technique on you. Wait, is he? He must be a really weak ass wizard then, because even our boy Nuxius could definitely soul crush. I mean, well, in his later days, he definitely soul crushed someone of varying importance. Let's just say that. Rassel uses technique on you. Well, then again, elf souls are really tasty, as far as I've heard. Shesana runs her hand over the strange striations on her skin. These are the side effects of his treatment, but since he drains my magic, I have no power afterwards to heal myself. It's monstrous, you exclaim. The wagon lurches to a stop. Shesana glances at the heavy door. He knows you're awake. We don't have long. But why does he do this to you? What does he use the power for? You ask. The elven girl moves closer, speaks in a whisper. No single mortal is strong enough to activate the weapon that he carries. Milacron's liberation, you whisper back, and the girl's face turns white with fear. You know of it? She asks. Only the name. What else can you tell me? Till the heavy door of the wagon's open. The two guards loom in the opening. You, Ranger, out now. The order. Once you leave Shizana's wagon, you resume. Oh man, I can't. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna end it here. Fuck this. I can't read this fucking. It's just too boring, man. There was like one interaction that was interesting. There was the traps bit was very interesting. But other than that, it's just fucking boring. Not to mention the character is like really just. Your character is a fanatic. I hate fanatics as is. I just hate religion, to be honest with you. But I also fucking hate fanatics with a fucking passion. And it just doesn't vibe with me. This is one of those, you know, shows where the character slowly builds up and is like, oh, the character is so cool now. But I just can't. I'm sorry. So as unfortunate that is, Ranger Choice ends here. You can read it for yourself. There's a link in the description to the game. There's a link to my Twitter, my Patreon, the background music, whatever I put up. It's gonna be in the description. No walkthrough this time because I'm not even looking at a walkthrough. So what am I gonna leave a link to anyway? So regardless, thank you so much for watching. I am sorry that I just ended it like this, but I just can't continue even though I truly want to. I'm gonna move on to several other games that I have, and I'll see you guys with that. Bye bye.